Good day. My name is Lindokuhle Vellem, and I'm with the Public Service and Accountability Monitor at Rose University. And today I'll be speaking about participating in municipal budgeting processes for climate change action. Before we start, there are 3 questions that I would like for us to consider. What is the service delivery issue that you would want to address with the municipality? And what do you know about human rights and what the delivery of that service will address? What is the relationship between human rights and the delivery of that service? And the objectives of this session are to understand human rights in relation to service delivery, to understand where legally you locate your right to participate in the needs assessment and budgeting of a local municipality, to understand the local government and its key functions and cooperative governance, your right to social accountability, introduction to public resource management cycle, the social accountability system, the integrated development planning and budgeting process, why you should monitor the strategic planning process from a rights-based approach. And then afterwards, we'll be unpacking the 4 budget phases, when and how civic actors can engage with the municipal budgeting process. Linking local government to climate change, a developmental local government. Local government in South Africa is guided by the constitutional vision of developmental local government. Local governments are critical development agents that should work with local communities to find suitable ways to meet their social, economic, and material needs and improve the quality of their lives. Key responsibilities are to maximize social development and economic growth, integrate and coordinate activities of private and public actors, promote democratic development, community empowerment, and redistribution. Now, when it comes to climate change, the climate change partners, and as the project matures, it is important that civil society actors develop practical skills to better participate in the major legislated municipal processes. As the project matures, it is very important that civic actors get involved in the legislated spaces within municipalities. They can do this through making relevant linkages to the planning and resource allocation processes of the municipality, its expenditure and performance management, examining the integrity of the institution, and engaging with oversight bodies, both internally and external to the municipality, and to develop an advocacy strategy that will aid in shifting mindsets and making issues of climate change topical within the institution and in the local government spaces. Before we move on, we need to understand that we have human rights that are bestowed onto us just because we are human. And those are the civil and political rights, which includes the right to equality, life, human dignity, freedom and security of the person, freedom of association, protest, privacy, freedom of expression, just administrative action, and access to information, press freedom, and right to access courts and political rights. Now, your socioeconomic rights that give people access to certain basic needs, including housing, healthcare, food, and water. Human rights and service delivery. Local government in South Africa is responsible for the delivery of important basic services, which include water, electricity, and sanitation. Also, waste removal. When the municipalities plan for the delivery of these and other services, it considers the needs of all the residents living in the jurisdiction, prioritizes those needs, develops a plan of how to address the priorities, and these are then presented in the municipality's strategic planning and resource allocation process. A growing number of civil society organizations are engaging in this space with an increased need to be able to understand and engage with local government budgets. How do you experience your rights to receive basic services? When you put together your civil and political rights and your socio-economic rights, that leads to public participation and service delivery. And we do this when we elect our representatives to participate in those spaces for us and, most importantly, with us. These are the constitutional provisions for public participation. These can be found in Section 195, subsection 1, under the values and principles of governing public administration and the objects of local government, which are to encourage the involvement of communities and community organization in matters of local government. Key legislations for public participation in municipalities. While the Constitution sets out the main principles and rules that govern South Africa, there are many other laws that are relevant for activists in relation to local government. These are referred to as state statutes or acts. These are laws voted on by elected bodies, including municipal councils, provincial legislature, or national parliament, and they are also referred to as legislation. These would be most important for local government and the planning space within local government. And these include the white paper that introduces the concept of development local government, the Municipal Systems Act, Municipal Structures Act, Municipal Financial Management Act, and the guides for public participation and Batubele principles. Local government legislation continued. These would be most important when looking at climate change matters, and that includes spatial planning and land use management, the Water Services Act, and the promotion of access to information. These would be your Batubele principles, consultation, service standards, access, courtesy, information, openness and transparency, redress, and value for money. The three spheres of government. All three spheres have legislative and executive powers, allowing them to pass laws and implement programs. They are independent in their spheres. Those are national government, the provincial government, and the local government. Our focus today is on the local government, where it is the provision of basic services, making and enforcing bylaws at local and local development, and encouraging public participation in its affairs. These are the three spheres and how they interlink. But our main focus, because we are dealing with climate change matters at a local level, will be focusing, as I've mentioned, on local government. These spheres, they focus in on the growing local economies, providing infrastructure and services, and making and administrating bylaws. I have put together this list. It's in our Constitution, Schedule 4, Part P of the Constitution, that depicts exactly what the municipalities are responsible for. Highlighted some of the ones that I think may link directly to the climate change question, and that includes air pollution, firefighting services, municipal planning, municipal health services, municipal public transport, stormwater systems, water and sanitation services, limited to potable water supply systems, and domestic wastewater and sewage disposal systems. The local government space has the administration, the council, and the community. Communities give a mandate to the administration, and the administration has the responsibility to account for that mandate that they have been given by the community. Public participation platforms within the local government space. You have your ward meetings, the IDP representative forums, ward committees, portfolio committees, council meetings, MPEC meetings. The PSAM approach and a rights-based approach to human development and service delivery. The PSAM approach aims to contribute to addressing societal problems originating from systemic public resource management failures, done through engaging in country processes, supporting learning amongst accountability practitioners, and sharing learning widely. Civil society needs to develop the skill of social accountability monitoring within their local municipal jurisdiction to promote greater transparency and inclusive governance processes focused on citizen action. At the PSAM, we believe that a rights-based approach in responding to accountability challenges in South Africa is fundamentally based on the universal human rights and the rights enshrined in Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. The PSAM asserts that citizens have a right to social accountability. Every state is obliged to justify and explain why they have done and taken certain actions, and what then they will be using to correct some of the decisions that they have taken that are not as the plan initially. All citizens have the right to demand this justification and explanation, and then the corrective action from the state when it fails to provide them adequately. The defining characteristics of social accountability include the existence of an agent or institution who is to give an account, an area, responsibilities, or domain subject to accountability, which is the mandate, an agent or institution to whom the agent is to give an account, which is the community, the principal. The right of the principal to require the agent to inform about and explain or justify decisions with regards to the mandate. The right of the principal to sanction the agent if the agent fails to inform or explain its decisions with regards to the mandate. So why do we get involved in budgets? In South Africa, local government is responsible for the delivery of a number of important services, including water and sanitation, electricity and waste, solid waste management, which means that there's quite a big budget that goes to the provision of basic services. And then the one problem is that in many parts of South Africa, poor communities do not have the adequate access to these basic services. This is an issue that many communities and civil society organizations are working to address. CSOs and communities working to engage with local government are becoming more and more aware of the importance of the budget in addressing the service delivery issues and improving access to basic services. Climate change and the municipal planning and budgeting process. Why should you get involved? My personal take on the matter is that adequate and sustained access to basic services, effective and efficient use of the finite financial resources allocated to municipality is a fraction of the climate change problem won or addressed. National climate change response policy recognizes the important role of sub-national government in climate change responses, particularly in the area of planning and urban development and the provision of municipal infrastructure and services. Municipalities have the potential to play a key role in addressing the climate change question. They are at the level closest to the people, where the impact of climate change is mostly and directly felt. Municipalities are best placed to address the climate change issues within the local government sphere. They are closest to the people, and they can have direct solutions for the problems that they find on the ground. So in introducing the public resource management cycle, it is part of the monitoring of the municipal budgeting system. Communities need to know that there is the strategic planning and resource allocation phase. Then there's expenditure management, performance management, public integrity management, and oversight. These 5 processes also make up the social accountability system through which the state is accountable to its citizens on an ongoing basis in between elections. This is a pictorial diagram of the 5 processes where you have your planning and resources allocation. That is when they have the IDP roadshows and the community-based planning. And the officials in the different departments, they bring together their plans and say that this is what we are planning to do for this financial year. Then expenditure management. Then they start planning. After they have planned, then they start using and spending the money. They pay salaries, they pay for the projects, and they pay for the services that are then provided to the municipal jurisdiction. Then how do they fare in that expenditure? They have planned for it, they've spent the money, how are they faring? And then that comes in with the performance management. How you look at the service delivery budget implementation plan and link it to the delivery of the service on the ground. Are they doing what they said they would do? Integrity management. Are the systems in place? Are they giving value for money? Are we getting what we had said we had planned for? And then the oversight. Our elected representatives, are they playing their role when it comes to oversight over the agent? If the agent is not doing as they said they would, are they sanctioning them and asking and demanding the right questions, the right justification for the actions that they have taken? Public resource management within the state, a system of 5 interrelated processes. First, you will have a process of planning and resource allocation as per the identified and prioritized needs. This is a space where communities and civil society organizations need to get involved in, because if we're not communicating what our needs are, how can they be planned for? A process for effective expenditure management. Download the IDP, the budget, the service delivery implementation plan, and see what the municipality is spending our resources on. Effective performance management. Before the beginning of the year, do they have a performance agreement that you can look at and assess what the managers in the different departments are doing? And the process of public integrity management, are they doing what they said they would do? Are the people that they are appointing to deliver the services, are they doing a credible job? Or are they just receiving the initial payments and they are leaving the projects hanging? What then does it mean for the communities on the ground? The process of effective oversight and duty bearers and their accountability to rights holders. Are they accounting to communities, the civil society space, and the business owners within the municipality? Are we consulted on what municipalities are delivering with the resources that they have been allocated? We have explained this process, the planning and resource allocation, process 2, the expenditure management, performance management, integrity management, and oversight. The IDP development planning and the municipal budgeting process. To be able to provide these services, the municipality needs to have a strategic plan. The Integrated Development Plan is the main planning tool for the municipality. The IDP guides and informs all planning, budgeting, and all development in a municipal area. It also sets out the priorities of the municipality for service delivery, budgets, and capital investments over a 5-year period. To be able to provide services, a municipality needs a budget and a plan for delivery. The Integrated Development Plan is the main planning tool for the municipality. The IDP guides and informs all planning, budgeting, and all development in a municipal area. It also sets out the priorities of the municipality for service delivery, budgets, and capital investments over a 5-year period. After local elections, municipalities should develop a new IDP, which will cover the incumbent council's term of office. This strategic plan, which is reviewed every year, is where civic actors will see what the municipality plans to focus on when it comes to service delivery. The IDP also aims to coordinate the work of the local municipality and other spheres of government in a coherent plan to improve the quality of life for all living in the area. The IDP should be able to tell you what are the existing conditions in the municipality and where are the most serious problems. Civic actors should be able to tell the communities that exist in the municipality and whether they have access to the basic services. So if you're finding that in your space you have flooding, you have sinkholes, these are the conditions that the municipality should be aware of when it comes to planning for your specific area. If you are prone to veld fires, what are the plans that the municipality are putting in place so that they mitigate those veld fires when the season comes? The IDP paints the strategic visioning document of the municipality and therefore should also depict the kinds of improvements that the council want to see overall. Within the 5-year period, the IDP should show what improvements are realistically achievable within the time frame and proceed to set out how it plans to achieve those planned improvements. Furthermore, civic actors need to be able to tell from the IDP what the municipality's priority service delivery and infrastructure projects are, where they will take place, and who is responsible for the work that needs to be carried out, so that they can monitor the process. The IDP should be able to tell you what service delivery targets the municipality has committed to and what indicators or measures will be used to measure whether the progress is being made in these commitments. The IDP on its own is not enough. We need finances to bring life to what is in the plan. The IDP, being a 5-year plan, needs financing for a year where the municipality says, for this financial year, this is what we are committing to do from the plan. That's then how the budget links to the IDP. The budget itself sets out how much money the municipality is going to spend and how it will raise those funds it is going to spend. It also tells us what it plans to spend the money on, based on the plan in that IDP. It is important to note that when a council approves a municipal budget, it only considers the year in which the municipality will be spending. For instance, in the 2022 to 2023 financial year, which is now, the council will only consider the 2023-2024 budget for adoption. The composition of a budget. These include the operating budget and the capital budget. The operating budget is for your day-to-day running of the municipality. That includes bulk services and the paying of salaries or wages to the workers. Then you have your capital budget, which includes the purchasing of land, buildings, vehicles, and municipal or provincial roads. How this is then where the income comes from, it's from service charges. So the payments on your electricity, your water and sanitation, and your refuse removal, the property rates, other revenues, like your traffic fines, library book fines, and then you have your grants from government, and that is the equitable share mostly. It is important to remember that municipalities are not allowed to borrow for operating expenses. So if your municipality is borrowing money to pay for salaries, communities and civil society organizations should be questioning why the municipality is doing so, and what is the arrangements that are put in place when such a borrowing or such a loan happens with a private entity. Sources of municipal revenue continued. Now, with your capital revenue, you have your government grants. And the big one within municipalities is your municipal infrastructure grant. The MIG, or the municipal infrastructure grant, may be used to upgrade and build new infrastructure up to a basic level of service, as well as to rehabilitate existing infrastructure. So when your municipality plans, are they planning to rehabilitate buildings, to rehabilitate sewage works? And if they are not, those are the questions that civil society can begin asking. Now, once the budget has been passed by the municipality, 14 days afterwards, there needs to be a service delivery budget and implementation plan. The service delivery and budget implementation plan is informed by the IDP, which is our strategic plan, and the budget for the year. So within 14 days after the approval of the budget, the managers of the municipality need to submit their service delivery and budget implementation plans. These will tell us where the project is, who the manager is, what they are meant to be doing within a specific time frame. And these we can use to measure or to do our own oversight over the municipality and the agent, which is the managers within the municipality that we are monitoring. So in the SDBIP, you will find the ward number where the project is located. If they are doing and building infrastructure for bulk water systems, they need to know, we need to know where the project will be located, the project name and number, so that we can follow it through from the SDBIP, the budget, and the IDP. It will have the name consistent in all three of those documents. There needs to be a short description of what this project is, the planned start date. So if it does not start on that day, then the oversight bodies need to call the managers in and say what is happening, because at the end of the day, they are delaying service delivery going to the people. We need to know when they plan to complete the project. We have projects that are running for years on end, which means more expenditure on the limited resources of the municipality, and how much this project will cost the municipality per month, so that we can track that with the expenditure that the municipality is getting into. And then the reasons for any changes in the project delivery. So in the first quarter of the financial year, the SDBIP would have appointed a service provider. If that does not happen, there needs to be reasons as to why this has not happened, because it is invariably a delay on the delivery of the service that needs to be delivered to communities. Although the SDBIP is initially approved by the mayor, it can only be amended with the approval of council. So why should we get involved in the planning process from a rights-based approach? Because the IDP is informed by a rigorous process to update the needs assessment. So if we are not there to update that needs assessment, then we will not be planned for. So if we need street lights, if we need water in our communities, if we need a certain location to be earmarked for low-cost housing, the IDP is informed by a rigorous and up-to-date needs analysis. And therefore, if we are not part of the process, we are not then considered for the expenditure processes of the municipality. We need to be there when the needs are assessed so that we can bring forth what the needs of our communities are. If we need fencing for community gardens that we are starting in the space, that is the platform that we make our needs known. Furthermore, we need to assess whether or not the implementation of the plan will result in the realization of socio-economic needs. Have people's service delivery needs been prioritized in the objectives and corresponding activities of the municipal strategic planning process? So now, if they have planned for it, does it really reflect what it is that we are struggling with on the ground? And these are the kinds of questions that we can start asking related to climate change matters. If the municipality is not bringing out the issues around climate change, then these are the spaces that we as civic actors can start engaging the municipality at. These are the time frames for the budget phases, which are four. The first of these is the formulation, where the municipality decides on the service delivery priorities together with communities. Then the municipality starts to review the IDP and puts together a draft IDP and a draft budget for the year. This is when the municipality will call communities on the IDP roadshows where they have prepared the draft. That is not the final document, and it is where communities can start making submissions towards their own needs being realized. The formulation phase ends when the draft IDP, the draft budget, and the draft SDBIP are presented in council. And this would be roughly around the last week of March. Then you have your approval phase. This is when we as communities come in, when they take us into confidence and say that this is what we are planning for within this year. We can either approve or not approve the drafts that they present to us. In this space, communities need to be united in what the needs are. They need to clearly specify and clearly articulate what the needs of their communities are, and there they need to hold their elected representatives accountable for the decisions that they then take in council. If my councillor does not know what is in the IDP, there is no way that they can then approve this document because it is not reflective of our needs on the ground. Then you have your implementation phase, which runs from July of that year to June of the next year. The implementation of the 2023 and 2024 budget, which we are currently in, starts from the 1st of July until the end of June next year. The municipality in this process collects money, spends money, and delivers services as set out in the adopted budget. So now the expenditure of the municipality is dependent on how much they are able to collect within the year, apart from the grants that they had already been given by National Treasury and provincial departments. Every month, the municipality produces a monthly budget statement. At the end of the 6 months, the municipality reviews its collection and spending of money, as well as its service delivery. So they've spent money, they've paid salaries. What are the services that they are then delivering on the ground? Are they matching the expenditure of the municipality? The implementation of the current year's budget will end on the 30th of June the following year. The audit phase. The audit will start of this current year will begin in July of the following year. The Auditor General will audit the accounts of the municipality to check if it has spent the money and delivered services as set out in its budget. The annual draft report, including the audit report, must be tabled before the end of January the next year. This will be in January 2025 for the current year. That said, we begin with our advocacy process. Civil society needs to enter all four of these processes with the planning in mind of what they want to achieve at the end of the day. By entering the formulation phase, you make known what your needs are. Be sure that by July, you get what the municipality, how the municipality is planning to do the review process for the next financial year. This is where civil society can start making submissions to the relevant department based on the needs that they have identified. When it comes to approval, we need to be in the meetings that the municipality calls, and we need to be critical and understand what the documents are saying about the needs that we have said we have. If they are not planning for that need in this particular year, communities and civil society should be asking what are the plans of the municipality related to the needs that they have specified. Remembering that we need to be united in what we say we need as a community. During the implementation, communities need to follow the money. Be there, be present. When they say that they are building a school or building and installing waterworks within the municipality, go and get the service delivery implementation plan and inquire who the contractors are so that we can follow up on what they are meant to be implementing in the communities. During the audit phase, read the audit outcomes and what it says about your municipality, and start advocating for climate change issues today.